Hey guys, welcome back to the Snapper and Chronicles. Today we're coming at you with another Ratchet video. This one is kind of a comparison between a couple of Williams designs. But before we jump into it, if you find these videos helpful or enlightening, could you give me a like and also subscribe to my channel? Okay, I wanted to do a video today because I'm not sure what's gonna happen. You know, in the Northeast we're having a storm. There's like a hurricane gonna come in probably tomorrow morning. So they keep saying we're gonna lose power most likely. So I wanted to get this one out before this storm hits. This one should be a little bit interesting. Here we have two Williams B52 ratchets. One's an earlier one and one's a little bit later, but they're pretty close in design. Like in a lot of ways they're almost identical, but we'll jump into what distinguishes each of these. Okay, this is an earlier model. This was the earlier models of the B52 ratchets, and if you look at the heads you can see that they have a different lockup design here. Okay, this we've seen this before, probably a lot of times. This is the classic Williams with the ring that holds the mechanism in place, the outer ring. And on the earlier models they had kind of a plate. There's no ring, but there's this plate that is screwed in also, which, you know, it's not that fun to get open. Actually, this one took me 3 days to get this open. I put penetrating oil, and then I tap, and then I let it sit and penetrate or soak for a while, and then maybe a few hours later start more oil, and then tap, then let it sit overnight and soak, and then again start the whole process. So it took me 3 days, and I know you guys are gonna say, oh, use a spanner on that. I don't know if you see how small these holes are. They are tiny. Here's like a little, it's like a pin punch. I can barely get that pin punch in there. It's like a needle punch. So they didn't give you much to work with here. Even with a spanner, you're gonna stick those little prongs in there and try to open this up when it's frozen. I don't think that's gonna work. Even if you can find a spanner with a 3-hole like that. So you got a hole down here, one up here, and one there. Okay, so let's open this up. See, this one has a screw on top of the switch that holds the switch, and you unscrew. I already unscrewed these, so I already got them primed. I don't want to spend too much time going through the whole process. So this is the screw that holds the switch in place. It's a flathead with kind of a wide rim there. Okay, and this is the trick here. This is righty loosey, lefty tighty. So it's the opposite of what you would usually do. So to loosen this, you would actually attempt to tighten it. So you would go right. Righty is loosey for the star switch. And it kind of baffled me when I was doing the 1/2-inch version of this one. I was like, why isn't this coming loose? And it was because it's threaded backwards. And here's what the switch looks like. This piece of metal has a decent weight to it, surprisingly. Okay, and here is the plate. That's it. Okay, See how easy that comes out? That's how all Williams come out. They all come out that easy. No, I'm only kidding. They can be hell on earth to get open. Here's a plate. You can see the threads there. These are the tiny little holes they give you to try to open it with. And here's the mechanism. Let me get this mechanism out also, so I can compare these. Yeah, that's your ring, the one that everybody hates and gives so much trouble. And here's the mechanism. Okay. You see this switch? This switch is held in place by those two ball bearings in there. And there's a spring in the middle. So you would depress these two. You would depress both of these balls like this at the same time. Each side of the pawls that's sticking up, you just depress it, and then you grab a magnet or stick your nail in there, and this should be able to come out. I'm not gonna take this one apart right now. I got a video on how to take these apart. If you want, I'll put links in the description for that. And here is, in comparison, here is the older model. Kinda a little bit wonky, because there's this little catch right here. When you switch them from side to side, what's stopping it from spinning all around is this little metal catch. And I'll take that out, and everything falls. Let me take that piece out. And this is what keeps it from spinning, this tiny little piece of metal. I don't want to lose this. Oh boy. This tiny little piece of metal that sticks into this hole right here and keeps it from spinning all the way around when you switch it. Okay, to take this out also, I think, if I remember correctly, you have to also press the two balls that are in there. You press them flat, and then what I do is I take the balls and I prop them under here, compress them under these posts on the side, and then I'm able to get something in and wiggle it out and get this part of the switch out. But the mechanisms are pretty identical, except for the switching parts. I think that you can actually, you might be able to, let me put this little piece back in, so it's making me nervous. Let's see if I can get that in. Oh boy. No, you know what? No, leave it. Because it's gonna go flying or something and I'll never find it. But anyway, you could probably take these and switch them. Okay, this is the newer B52 mechanism, and this is with the older switch in it. Let me see if it'll work. Yep, you can actually switch these mechanisms. The only problem is I'm not sure if this plate will go. in here. I'm not sure if this will thread. Let me look at the threads. They look similar. Let's see if this works. There we go. Yeah, it does. This actually threaded in. Let me take it out. So actually you can mix and match these mechanisms. And let's see here. This is the older ratchet. Yeah, it clicks. It switches. See if we get this into here. Oh boy. I never want to cooperate on camera. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I think you can. I think you can switch these mechanisms. If you have a broken one or something and you need parts, you can probably switch these mechanisms around. But okay, these are the parts for the older one, and this is for the newer one. Just a peek inside these mechanisms. Let me zoom in before we end this. Just a peek inside these mechanisms. See how well broached these old William ratchets were? Look at that broaching. Looks perfect. Looks great. They did an excellent job at broaching. When they got sold to Snap-on, this is an older model. You see the raised lettering here. So this is like an early model where they spent some, they spent a little extra money getting that forged in raised lettering. And the older and the newer models, they had the engraving. So not as not as nice as that. And the only letter that's sticking up is they have a B sticking up that's forged in, but other than that the letters are engraved. But this also, there's some grease in there, but this also had very nice broaching. They did excellent broaching on these old Williams. When they sold to Snap-on, the broaching took a dive. It looked bad. When I did a video. I recently had a pair of Williams ratchets that were I think from the 90s when Snap-on first bought Williams and started making the Williams ratchets. They were the same mechanism, this similar to, well, not exactly, but it was the same mechanism with the two pawls and the switch and the ring. But when you took a look at the broaching in those, it did not look good. It looked pretty sloppy. And if you want, you can go look at those videos I had of those newer B52 ratchets that from the Snap-on era, the early Snap-on era. I think they were from 97 or something. But yeah, that's all I got. Just wanted to show you a comparison of these mechanisms from these two old Williams super ratchets. Okay guys, till next time.